Hello, wonderful people. How are you? Today I'm talking about how long this thing is going to drag on. How long is this going to drag on? This is not dragon, drag on. This is what I asked the emissaries. I wanted to know. I'll tell you all about it on the other side. So I've just finished an immersion course, and so during that time I haven't been able to run or meditate or anything like that. So when I got back, I was really excited to get in touch with the emissaries again, and I said to them, hey, tell me, how are you feeling? I haven't spoken to you for a while. How are you feeling? And they said, we are feeling very optimistic. Okay, they're always feeling optimistic, so they may as well have said, we're feeling like we always do. But they said, no, we're feeling very optimistic. And I said, great. And they said, we're also feeling very happy. And I said, why is that? Why are you happy? And they said, it's because of the shift that we are seeing, this movement that we're seeing. Lots of people are starting to question what they are seeing. Lots of people are starting to get uncomfortable. And this is a good thing. They have to be uncomfortable, yeah? And they described it like, they said, the momentum is picking up. Like a snowball rolling down a hill, it's getting bigger and bigger. And there's a point where it will be unstoppable. We will be unstoppable. Now, let me just digress a bit. So on this immersion course that we've been on, now, a couple of things I want to bring to your attention. In the past, when we've done these immersion courses, these are people, the people that generally come to Lightspeed Spanish are not awakened souls, bless them. They're beautiful people, but you wouldn't describe them as awakened souls. They're from a certain group of the population. When we had finished with the plan/demic, that's all they talked about. It was always being mentioned. It was always being mentioned. And it still is. Every now and again, somebody say, oh, you know, I'm coughing, but hey, I haven't got it because I've done a test or whatever. However, nobody this week, not one soul, at no point has anybody talked about the conflict that's just happening. And I don't want to mention the words and everything just in case, but you know where it's happening, yeah, with the two groups. Nobody talked about it. Not one soul. Now, I think there's a reason for that. And I'll tell you what I think is going on. Have you heard of COVID fatigue? Have you heard of that? COVID fatigue is something that's been described by these horrible, horrible, shit-arse people who think that they rule mankind. And they say, well, the people have got COVID fatigue, so we can't run that beast anymore. People are sick of it. It went on too long. People are sick of it. Well, didn't they just instantly get rid of that by bringing on a war in the Ukraine? And then we've had 2 years of that. And people have got war fatigue. They have got war fatigue. And then what have they done? They've brought another war on. Bad idea. Bad plan. Bad plan. I'm going to talk about the plans later on in another video. But that's just not working. Why? People can't be asked. They've had 2 years of war. And they can't be asked. Nobody talked about it. It was not mentioned once. Not even in dispatches. Now, that stands out to me because of this kind of group of that we have. They're very up to date. And I'll tell you something else that happened. So I was in my class doing Spanish, right? And at the end, we just have a little, wind down chat. And I was talking about the disaster that is the NHS and its horrible things like where my mum stays. She's in a residential home, and a lady fell to the floor, complained of pain. The staff couldn't move her because you're not allowed to move somebody if they're complaining of pain after a fall. And they called an ambulance, and the ambulance was going to come within the hour. Okay? And then it didn't come. It didn't come until, this was 11 o'clock at night, until the following morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. The lady spent the entire night lying on the floor. This was in the winter, okay? And they couldn't move her. The entire night waiting for an ambulance. Now, what happened was I went to Morocco to Rabat. And I remember seeing a girl lying in the road in a pool of blood. And I said to the driver, "Where is the ambulance?" And he said, "It will come, but we don't really know when. It might come this morning and it might come this afternoon." And inside, I was horrified and I laughed and I thought, how third world that is. How third world. And that's what's happening in the UK. That third world has moved to the UK. And that's not the only, I've also, my father, his wife, she fell to the floor and she spent the entire night on the floor waiting for an ambulance. The same thing. This is not a one-off. This is like 2 people in my family have experienced that. No ambulance. So I was talking to the group about that. They were all in agreement. They were all saying everything's broken. Everything's broken. Politics is broken. The NHS is broken. Right? This is just this is a group that believes everything that the government tells them, or not. And I noticed this massive change. And I thought, wow, that is something that is definitely worth paying attention to, because that isn't normal. So the emissaries were talking about this momentum that's picking up, this snowball, and there won't be any stopping it. And isn't that great? And so they said it's going to be unstoppable and it's going to move faster and faster. And I said to them, all right, okay, it's going to go faster and faster, but if it doesn't, could this situation drag on? Like, drag on? And they said, oh, absolutely it could. It could drag on forever, right? Which wasn't what I wanted to hear. But they said it could drag on forever. Like when we play a video game really badly and we just keep dying and have to refresh and restart. That's what they said. It could drag on forever. But, and this is the most important thing, they said that's completely our choice. It's our choice whether we want this to drag on or not. And this is something they said which really stood out to me as something very important that I want to share. They said that it's our choice how long this runs for. The baddies do not have the choice. They do not decide how long this runs for. We decide. It's our decision. And when we decide that this will not go on anymore, it will stop. And I thought, wow, that's a kind of a very different way, because often we feel victim, don't we? We feel that like we're victims, but we're not. We're almost like self-imprisoning ourselves in this situation. Now, what it means is that we've got to be enough, because I know we would say, right, stop it now. But this is what the snowball effect has got to be. When we get to enough people, then it will stop. We will stop it. We have the power. That's what the emissary said. We have the power to stop this now, if we want. But we've got to want to. And we've got to be enough. And we've got to have enough people awakened. Okay? So, our job is to not consent, because that's how it stops. We can get the ball rolling. And there's like tons of stuff that I'm seeing, people just not consenting anymore. People saying no, across whole fields of interactions with this phony, false government that we have all around us. Phony and false. A corporation, I suppose, that is meaningless and just there to earn money. So, that's our job. So remember, we have the choice. This is empowering for us. This makes us stronger. This gives us the power. Okay? We have the choice. The baddies, as soon as we press the button and say, fuck off, the baddies are going to fuck off. Okay? They have no choice. And isn't that good? Is it? Where's that button? Where's the fuck off button? I'm going to have my finger on it. I'm going to keep pressing it. It mightn't work at the moment because we haven't got enough, but fuck off, fuck off, fuck off. Yeah, and you can start pressing your fuck off button as well. And together, if we press it enough times, the baddies might just fuck off. With that, with those beautiful words, that poetry that I have just given you, I leave you. I love you all. Speak to you later. Bye-bye.